Good morning, everybody, and happy Sunday. I'm so excited to be with you today for another episode of Virtual Sunday School. So, Miss Jean told me this past week that you guys love doing the Lord's Prayer with the motions, and she actually taught me how to do it. So, let's give it a go.
Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. Awesome job with that. So, do you remember how we started out last week? We started out with the song, and we're going to do the same today. Do you remember the tune the song went to? That's right, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Remember how I sang a line and then you sang it back, and once we got all the way through, we sang it all together? We're going to do the same this week. So, here we go. Jesus feels happy and sad. Happy and sad, happy and sad. Jesus feels happy and sad. Tell us how you feel. So now I want you to tell someone nearby how you're feeling today. I'm feeling pretty good. It's sunny, it's nice and warm, and I'm excited to be with you guys, so that's always a good time. All right, are you ready to do it all together? Here we go. Jesus feels happy and sad, happy and sad, happy and sad. Jesus feels happy and sad. Tell us how you feel. Now have someone else tell you how they're feeling today. Now, do you remember our rhyme from last week? Do you remember what body part we use? Our hands and our eyes. Good job. Awesome. So this week we'll do the same one with our hands, and then we'll be using our faces. So I'll say a line and then you repeat. Here we go. Open them, close them. Give a little clap. Open them, close them. Rest them in your lap. Now all together. You ready? Open them, close them, give a little clap. Open them, close them, rest them in your lap. Awesome job! So now we're going to change the words to match what we're going to be doing with our faces. So I'll say a line, you repeat. Here we go. Sad face, sad face. Sometimes we feel sad. Happy face, happy face. Sometimes we feel glad. Are you ready to do it all together? Here we go. Sad face, sad face. Sometimes we feel sad. Happy face, happy face. Sometimes we feel glad. Awesome! You guys did such a good job with that. Do you remember my chapstick from last? Remember when we had the bunch of objects and then you had to guess which one I removed, and then I took the chapstick out and we learned a little something about it? Do you remember what color it was? That's right, it was purple. Good job. Do you remember why we were focusing on the color of purple? That's right, because it's the color of Lent, the church season that we are in now. In Lent, we follow Jesus on the road to the cross. When Jesus is on the road to the cross, sometimes he feels happy, but sometimes he feels sad. So let's open up with an action prayer. Do what I do. Jesus, thanks for the things that make us happy. Woo! Cheer with me. Thanks for being with us when we feel sad. Help us to remember that, like us, you feel happy, woo, and sad. Amen. Today's Bible story is called Lazarus. Now, Lazarus lived with his two sisters, Mary and Martha. All three of them were Jesus' good friends. But in this story, something very sad happens. So sad that it made Jesus cry. Let's listen to find out what made Jesus so sad. Alright, so again, I don't have the Spark Bible, but Miss Jean, being the amazing teacher that she is, sent me the pictures again and anything else that I would need. So you guys really need to thank her when you see her again, and she also misses all of you so, so much. So here we go with the story of Lazarus. 3 of Jesus' good friends included a man named Lazarus and his sisters Mary and Martha. Jesus was on a long journey when he found out that Lazarus was dying. It took Jesus a few days to travel to see his sick friend. When Jesus arrived, he saw Lazarus' sister Martha. She had some sad news. "Jesus, Lazarus is dead," cried Martha. "I wish you could have arrived earlier. You might have been able to save him." Jesus tried to comfort her. "Martha, don't be sad. Lazarus will live again." Martha believed what Jesus said. Then Lazarus' other sister, Mary, came to greet Jesus. She wished Jesus had come sooner too. "Jesus, if you had been here, Lazarus might still be alive," she wept. She also believed that Jesus could have healed her brother. Jesus was sad because Lazarus died too. He cried and cried. Jesus, Martha, and Mary went to the tomb where Lazarus was buried. Jesus told some people standing there, "Take the stone away from the tomb." The people were surprised at what Jesus said. Martha reminded Jesus that Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. They had already made his body ready for burial by wrapping it in special clothes. But Jesus knew what he was doing. He insisted that they open the tomb. When the heavy stone was rolled away, Jesus said, "Lazarus, come out!" The people were frightened and amazed when Lazarus came out of the tomb. Since his hands and feet were all wrapped up in the burial clothes, the people had to help Lazarus. When the people saw Lazarus alive again, they laughed and sang and danced. Many people that day believed Jesus would bring new life to all people. Who knows what a mime is? That's right, a mime is someone who acts out a story without saying a word. Our Bible story today is filled with actions that we can mime. I'm going to read the story a second time, and whenever I stop, think about the words I just read. Then follow my actions as we mime the story together. What do mimes do? That's right, act. What don't mimes do? Talk. Good. Are we ready? Let's go.
Okay, you ready to do some acting? Here we go. 3 of Jesus' good friends included a man named Lazarus and his sisters Mary and Martha. Jesus was on a long journey when he found out that Lazarus was dying. It took Jesus a few days to travel to see his sick friend. When Jesus arrived, he saw Lazarus' sister Martha. She had some sad news. "Jesus, Lazarus is dead," cried Martha. "I wish you could have arrived earlier. You might have been able to save him." Jesus tried to comfort her. "Martha, don't be sad. Lazarus will live again." Martha believed what Jesus said. Then Lazarus' other sister, Mary, came to greet Jesus. She wished Jesus had come sooner too. "Jesus, if you had been here, Lazarus might still be alive," she wept. She also believed that Jesus could have healed her brother. Jesus was sad because Lazarus died too. He cried and cried. Jesus, Martha, and Mary went to the tomb where Lazarus was buried. Walked to the tomb. Jesus told some people standing there, "Take the stone away from the tomb." You ready to push a really heavy rock? The people were surprised of what Jesus said. Martha reminded Jesus that Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. They had already made his body ready for burial by wrapping it in special clothes. But Jesus knew what he was doing. He insisted that they open the tomb. Oh, here we go. Rolling the stone away again. When the heavy stone was rolled away, good job, guys, Jesus said, "Lazarus, come out!" shouting, "Lazarus, come out!" The people were frightened and amazed when Lazarus came out of the tomb. So think of how Lazarus came out of the tomb. Remember, he had all these clothes on him and he was all wrapped up. Since his hands and his feet were all wrapped up in the burial clothes, the people had to help Lazarus. When the people saw Lazarus alive again, they laughed, they sang, and they danced. Many people that day believed Jesus would bring new life to all people. You guys are such great actors. It's always so much fun to do this with you. So now I have a few questions for you guys. Why didn't Jesus come to Mary and Martha's house sooner? That's right, because Jesus was on a long journey. He had to walk to their house, so it took a few days. Next question is, what did the people think when Lazarus came out of the tomb? That's right, they were frightened and amazed, and then they laughed and they sang and they danced. So now I want you to pause the video and tell someone nearby about a time when you felt sad for a friend. I know for me, I always feel really sad when someone loses a loved one or a pet. It's always a really hard time. Okay, so I know that was a little heavy, so before we go today, I have a game I would like to play. Okay, so in front of me, you see that we have 3 cups, and then we have a man, Lazarus, wrapped in his cloths. So we're gonna play a little game of which tomb is Lazarus under. So I'm gonna put Lazarus under a cup. So we'll start with the middle one. I hope he fits. Okay, so he's under the middle one. I'm gonna move the cups all around, and then I want you guys to guess which one he's under. Okay, so remember, he's in this one. You want to follow that one with your eyes. Alrighty, which one's he under? Is he under this one? No. This one? Nope. Our middle one? There he is. Alrighty, you want to play another time? Let's go. So we'll put him under there again. Okay, remember, starting in the middle one. Keep an eye on Lazarus. Alrighty, which one's he under? Is it this one? Nope. This one? Nope. So those of you that guessed the right one, you were right. Here he is again. All right, one more time. Okay, we'll play it one more time. And this is a really easy game that you can replicate at home too. So I just have, he's a clothespin, drew a little happy face on him, took a tissue, wrapped his clothes around him, and then I just have cups from the kitchen. Okay, so remember, he is in this one. Eyes on the prize. Here we go. We'll try that one again. Okay. So we see him there. It's kind of hard because you see my deck's uneven. But okay, here we go. Lazarus. One more time. Oh. Alright, here we go. He's under this one. Which one's he under? This one? No. This one? No. And whoever guessed the left one, you guys were right. Here's our man, Lazarus. So again, like I said, this is a super easy game to create at home. If you find yourself with some extra time, which I know we all have right now. Thanks for playing. So that was a fun little game to play with you guys. I know I miss playing games with you in person, but hopefully this works in what we can do right now. So I'm so happy that you could join me again today for another episode of Virtual Sunday School. Today we learned that Jesus had friends like you and I have friends, and we learned that Jesus loved his friends. And we also learned 3 big parts of the story of Lazarus. So let's count them on our fingers. So first, Lazarus died. 2, Jesus cried. And 3, Lazarus came alive. So if you want to, I'm going to say it one more time. I want you guys to add some emotions. Okay, you ready? 1, Lazarus died. 2, Jesus cried. 3, Lazarus came alive. Awesome. You guys do so well when you do motions. So who remembers the name of the season of the church year we're in? Lent, right. So during Lent, we remember the time of Jesus' life just before he died. During the last part of his life, Jesus felt very close to his friends, like Mary and Lazarus and Martha, because Jesus was going to have to say goodbye to them. Jesus ate with his friends, he prayed with his friends, he cried with his friends, and he talked with his friends. Jesus shared some sad times with his friends. Sometimes he cried, but Jesus also shared lots of happy times with his friends. He loved to talk with them, tell them stories about God's love, walk with them, and eat tasty meals together. As we pray, think of all the happy and sad times that you've had with your friends. And here we go. Jesus, thank you for happy feelings. Thanks for sad feelings. Help us remember that you feel happy and sad just like us. And all of God's children said, Amen. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I actually put a link down in the comments in the description of the video that has a fun animation of our Sunday school story this week if you want to review it that way. I would really highly recommend it. Also, if you haven't heard of a community thing that's going on in the area, is Hearts for Healthcare Workers. And so right now, the community is coming together to put red hearts on the doors of your home to show solidarity with your healthcare workers and to support them. So if you have a rainy day this week or you have just nothing better to do, I really encourage you to make a red heart out of construction paper or tissue paper or whatever you want to make it out of, and put it on your front door so when your healthcare workers get home, they can really see your love and your support for them. So I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Virtual Sunday School.